Last year, I competed in my first ever bodybuilding show, achieved the leanest physique I've ever had, and I ended up placing third. So I have mastered the art of getting lean as a woman, and let me tell you, it is not easy. And also a couple of months ago, I posted a YouTube video that was talking about the no BS advice of how to actually get lean as a woman, and it got almost 50,000 views. And so I realized how many of you needed to hear that. So we are on to part number 2. So if you are serious about getting lean, losing body fat, and building muscle as a woman, this video is gonna go even deeper. We are gonna expand on everything from training, mindset, nutrition, and the things that society has lied to you about, because let's be honest, most women are being fed the wrong advice. So without further ado, let's get into it. How to actually get lean as a woman, no BS advice, part 2. Hard truth number 1, you may have to eat more in order to get lean. Now, I know what you're thinking, Coach Hallie, that doesn't even make any sense. Look, the biggest mistake that I see most women make when it comes to getting lean is that they think that the less they eat, the more carbs they restrict, the more fasting and lower calories they do, the leaner they will get. And yes, you do need a calorie deficit for fat loss, and yes, there are some cases where you do need to eat a little bit less, but if your metabolism has already adapted to low calories or you've been doing low calorie diets for years and years, just already restricting yourself for a really long time, trying to eat even less than that is just gonna burn you out. You're probably not gonna be able to adhere to such low calories, and you'll probably just binge later. And it's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're not disciplined, it's just that your strategy is broken and your body is trying to survive. Getting lean as a woman actually requires you to eat a lot more in most cases, especially if you're someone who doesn't necessarily need to lose weight right now. You need to focus on building muscle too. That is a huge part of even looking lean. And building muscle is not going to happen by severely restricting your food. Listen, you cannot cut calories forever. You cannot stay in a calorie deficit forever. You need to restore your metabolism, increase your maintenance calories, fuel your lifts, and create a strong foundation. I personally spent over a year and a half in a building season before I even started the prep for my show. And that was after lifting for over 6 years. And even then, I still did not have that much muscle mass when I did my show. I mean, it was my first bodybuilding show, so obviously I have a long way to go. But by doing this and getting up to 2,600 calories and 350 grams of carbs before I started my cut, put me in a really great place where I had the muscle foundation to look leaner when I was cutting down, and my calories were high enough where I had a really good starting point, a really good baseline. Now, obviously, I was prepping for a show, so I did have to do a pretty extreme method to get there, but it wasn't as extreme as compared to maybe other competitors because I took the time necessary, got uncomfortable, ate a lot of food, and yes, even gained a little bit of body fat in my building season before doing my cut. Because here's something a lot of women don't know. You're not actually building the lean physique in your fat loss phase or in your cut. You're only revealing what's underneath when you do a calorie deficit. So that is why every time you keep trying to do calorie deficit, low carb, low calories all the time, you feel like you still look the same, you look soft or flabby, and you just kind of look like a smaller version of your original body, but you're not seeing that definition that you want. It's because you've probably never taken the time to do a solid 1 to 2 year building season where you focus on building muscle first. That is how you actually look lean and toned. That's where the muscle definition and the lines come from. But not everyone should do a reverse diet right now, and not everyone should do a cut right now. Everyone's body and journey is different. That is why inside of our coaching program and inside the masterclass that I linked down below for you, this will help you break it down even further. Should you reverse diet or should you do a cut first? And if you want a lean and toned and strong body, the answer might surprise you. So after you watch this video, I want you to click the link in the description down below. I do have a full free reverse dieting masterclass that breaks this down in more detail on how to get lean and build muscle while eating more food. And also if you should cut or do a reverse first. Hard truth number 2, if you want to get lean, a calorie deficit is not for the weak, mentally or physically. Here's what no one tells you. Getting lean is gonna test every part of you, not just physically, but mentally. Hunger, cravings, social pressure, low energy. If you're not mentally prepared, you're gonna fold. And I'm not even gonna lie here. If you are in a calorie deficit and your goal is to lose body fat and you wanna get super lean, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. You can't just be walking around living the same life, the same lifestyle, the same habits that you have right now now if you want to make a change. Especially when you're in a calorie deficit, it's not that you can't be social and you can't enjoy yourself or have fun foods in moderation, but you do have less wiggle room for error and you don't have as much calories to really play with when you get pretty deep into a cut or a calorie deficit. And it really is about setting boundaries, and yes, sometimes saying no, or sometimes bringing some meals with you, and not eating out multiple times per week if you really want to make faster progress. But that is why reverse dieting not only builds up your metabolism beforehand, but your mindset too. You learn discipline, you learn how to fuel your body, you no longer fear food, and you view food as fuel. And I know it can be scary to eat more food, but if you are someone who should reverse diet right now, working up your calories before you cut is only going to make your calorie deficit so much easier, because you are going to have a higher baseline to start from. So if you're asking yourself, should I do a cut right now? Should I do a deficit? Should I do a reverse? Watch the masterclass below after this and learn how to set your body up for success before you enter into that cutting phase. Hard truth number 3, if you want to get lean, your training right now is too fluffy for results. Listen, if you're over here doing 45-minute full body HIIT workouts and gym classes all the time, boot camp classes, F45, Orange Theory, I hate to say it, but it's not gonna cut it. Now, before you come for me in the comments, obviously you can do whichever type of exercise you want. If it's fun and you enjoy it and you're seeing the results you want, then sure, by all means, do whatever you want. However, a lot of you that I talk to are doing these things. You're doing the F45, you're doing the boot camp classes, you're doing the HIIT workouts, and you're still not seeing results. So honey, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So if you want to get lean, you want to grow your glutes, you want to be lean and toned, you want to have visible muscle definition or an hourglass figure, like you have very specific physique goals, that happens in the weight room by following a structured weight training program designed with progressive overload that is customized to you and doing the same workouts over and over and over again for minimum 6 to maybe even 8 weeks or longer. Listen, I have a coach for myself. I have a program that is created for me, and I'm in the gym doing the same exact workouts for like 2 to 3 months straight. That's because boring is what equals results. Variety, switching it up all the time, no structure, jumping around, doing all these different classes is why you're stuck and why your body is not changing. To look lean and toned, you need real progressive overload. You need structured lifts. You need weeks and weeks of the same programming and not guessing, not just doing something to sweat or burn calories, or doing the same fitness class that everyone there is doing. You need to train with an intention, like you want to build muscle. Building muscle is hard. It requires a lot of intention, a lot of structure, and a lot of effort in order to put on muscle tissue, because having the muscle is what makes you look lean. And with weight training, although we can't control where you lose body fat, we can control where you want to build muscle, and we can use that to our advantage. If you want that hourglass figure, or you want to make your waist look smaller, you can actually build up your lats and your shoulders and your quads and your glutes. Building those muscles up on your body is what helps create that X frame or that hourglass figure. You can build your curves with weight training, and this is what actually changes how your body looks, changes your body composition. Now, if you do want to build muscle, you are going to need to apply some form of progressive overload. There are so many different ways to do this, but essentially you just want to be getting stronger over time, which is why we have a private training app for all of our clients where you should be tracking and logging your workouts to actually ensure that you are applying progressive overload. That is how I've been able to add 2 inches to my glutes in the last 6 months, because I track and I log my weights, I train with proper form, I have an intention every time I go to the gym, and I do the same exercises over and over and over again. I just get better at them over time. Now, you also don't need to worry at all about caloric burn or sweating in your workouts. And if you're using this thing, your Apple Watch or your Fitbit, to track your calories burned, I hate to tell you, actually, I love to tell you this, they're inaccurate, okay? Up to 30 to 90% inaccurate. And it also doesn't matter the calories you burn in your workout. You just need to worry more about the calories coming in. I never track my caloric burn. I don't even look at it because I know it doesn't matter. In fact, the calories you burn during exercise only make up about 5 to 10% of your overall caloric burn during the day. You're over here worrying about the tiniest piece of the pie when you should be worrying about your actual BMR, which makes up to 60% of your caloric burn during the day. You are trying really hard, but you're trying and focusing on the wrong things, and that's why you are stuck. And also, sweating has nothing to do with progress. It's just your body's natural way of cooling itself down. If you're working out outside in the summer or your gym doesn't have AC, you're gonna sweat more. Doesn't mean that you're seeing better results as someone who works out in a really cold environment. Like my gym keeps the AC at like 70 degrees. So I am not really sweating that much in my workouts because it's actually freezing in my gym. But in the masterclass below, if you click on that and watch this after this video, you will also learn how we get our clients results, getting leaner and building muscle without doing so much cardio or worrying about calories burned or sweating or all the things that don't matter. Hard truth number 4, motivation is a myth and you need systems. Everyone always says, I just need more motivation. I just need more willpower. No, you need better systems and you need to design your environment to make discipline easy. When I was prepping for my show, I was not motivated every day. In fact, I would argue I was only motivated maybe like 30% of the time. I was just following systems that I had set up. Grocery delivery, pre-logging my macros, scheduling in my workouts, non-negotiables. Stop negotiating with your goals and stop making it an option of whether you show up or not. If you want to be successful, you need to be good at planning ahead and having systems in your life that you implement whether you feel motivated or not. If you're serious about getting lean, then your environment needs to match your goals. If not, you're always going to default to comfort. For example, if you cannot stay away from crackers and chocolate and junk, then you shouldn't be keeping that in your house. It's really hard to try and practice willpower every day when you're looking at the bag of chips, you're looking at the cookies in the pantry every day. Honestly, if I had cookies in there right now, I'd probably go eat them. But it's easy for me to stay disciplined, not because I'm motivated all the time, but because I literally don't keep junk in my house. There's nothing for me to go binge on right now. We have supplements, protein powder, pasta boxes, and like spices in the pantry, and that's it. But this makes it very easy for me to stay on track. It actually requires more effort for me to go through the drive-thru or go to the grocery store and get ice cream and stuff if I wanted to fall off track. Another system is to plan out your schedule on the weekends. If you feel like I don't have time and you can't manage everything, are you managing your schedule? Every Sunday, I sit down and I plan out when I'm gonna work out. I put my workouts into my calendar. I plan out all the things I need to do in a week, and this helps me stay organized. It's a system that helps me stay on track. The last system I use and how I change my environment to make success easier is I keep my walking pad right next to my desk. I invested in a standing desk and a walking pad that I can have with me in my office because I work from home, and surprisingly, I have a very sedentary job. Even though I am a fitness coach, it's pretty much an office desk job. So I designed my environment to make it easier for me to stay on track and be successful so I can still hit my step count goal while I am working at my desk. And by keeping my walking pad right there in my office, there's no excuse for me to not just plug it in and get some steps in while I'm working. These are all examples of systems that you can implement in your life to make discipline easier and making sure that your environment matches your goals, which also might lead into you distancing yourself from people in your environment who don't really support your goals. If you have friends where all they want to do is go out to eat and drink and get drunk all the time, then you need to change your environment and make sure that you're not spending as much time with them. But on the flip side, you could also be the leader and the example in your friend group. If you have no one in your family or your friend group who is on this journey with you, maybe they just need someone to go first, someone to be that example, be that leader in this area. Invite a friend to get a workout in with you. Invite a friend over and make a macro-friendly meal together instead. Go on a walk or get a coffee with a family member instead of always going out for drinks or going out to eat multiple times per week. Hard truth number 5, you're confusing balance with slacking. So let's talk balance. What does this actually mean? Everyone loves to preach balance, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for balance and flexibility. I think sustainability is one of the most important things in a fitness journey, but balance doesn't mean winging it and then being very strict Monday through Friday and then just binging and having a whole cheat weekend and completely letting yourself go every other week. Balance means controlled flexibility. It means pre-planning, not reactive eating. Listen, there are seasons in your fitness journey. There are seasons for more balance, but there are also seasons for more discipline. Trying to have both at once and turn both way up is why you're stuck. If you truly want to get lean and you want to do a calorie deficit and you want to drop body fat, of course, again, you can enjoy yourself in moderation, but you are going to have boundaries. You are going to have to make sacrifices sometimes. And you might have to realize that you're going to enter into a season where maybe you don't have as much flexibility and balance right now because of the goals that you have. But understanding this mindset is what helped me through my prep, because for 6 months, I had zero balance, zero flexibility. Now, when you're prepping for a show, So it's a lot more extreme than a regular lifestyle. So I'm not saying you have to do this in order to get lean, but what I had to do to step on stage is very different than a balanced lifestyle. So I could not go out to eat at all for 6 months. No wiggle room in my macros, no overeating, no little snacks here and there. I had to stick to my meal plan for 6 months, no alcohol for 6 months, could not skip a workout, a cardio session, a step count goal. It's actually extreme perfection with zero wiggle room to mess up for 6 months. Okay, but understanding this concept is what helped me through that, because I kept telling myself, this is just a season. This is a season in my fitness journey that I chose to do. So I have to just embrace this season and know that there are gonna be more times where I can have more flexibility and balance again, which is me right now. The last 6 months for me have been a season of more balance and flexibility because I am in a building season now. My calories are much higher. I'm actually eating like 1,200 calories more every single day than I was at the lowest point in my prep. So I have more room to, enjoy date night with my husband on the weekend, maybe have more room in my calories to enjoy fun foods that I like. And I don't have to worry about being, super strict and never making an error. I don't have cardio right now. So this is a different season in my fitness journey that I'm in. And so no matter what, I just really encourage you to embrace every season, because there is ups and downs and highs and lows in both. The grass is always greener on the other side. But before you dive into another cut, ask yourself, have I actually built the habits and the mindset that will help me reach this goal? Hard truth number 6 is that fat loss will feel hard before it gets easier. Here's something I wish more women were prepared for. When you finally enter a fat loss phase, even if you're doing it right, it's still going to be hard. Your body is gonna push back. You're gonna question yourself. You'll feel more tired, hungrier, maybe even crankier sometimes. And that is just normal. You are also gonna have times where you want to quit, you want to throw in the towel, you feel like this isn't working. Also normal and a part of the process. That's why we teach our clients to enter into that fat loss phase with a strong mentality. Because if you don't, you're just going to end up quitting halfway and then still wondering why nothing works for you. Just remember, you being a little bit more hungry at the beginning is just your body's natural response to you being in a calorie deficit. You are consuming a little bit less calories than your body requires to maintain itself. So your body's natural response is going to be to increase your hunger hormone ghrelin, which is why you feel a little bit hungrier when you do a calorie deficit. However, there are ways around this to help with that hunger. Obviously, there's still going to be times where you just withstand the hunger, and that's just a part of being in a calorie deficit. But by focusing on low calorie, high volume foods, things you can eat a big portion size of for little calories, also making sure you're hitting your protein goals and your fiber intake every day really helps with managing that hunger. And this is why it's so important to have a structured macronutrient split that is custom for you and also structured in a way that helps you stay fuller, which is exactly what we do for our clients inside of the coaching program. It's not just about eating less, it's about eating right. And also to remember that you never grow when things are easy. We all say we want more discipline, we want to be the best version of ourselves. Well, this is what it takes to reach that goal. This is what it takes to become the best version of you. Sometimes the price of progress is pain and enduring hard things that make you stronger. I look back the last 8 years in my fitness journey, all the times where I've really developed the most discipline and saw the most progress is when I endured the hard things that helped me reach my goal. Because these hard things is what makes your life easier. More happiness, more confidence, better health. There are hard things in life that will lead you to an easier life. But either way, I always tell my clients, you gotta choose your hard. Yes, it is hard to track your macros and stay consistent and get workouts in and all of those things, but it's also hard to look in the mirror, not like what you see, you're feeling uncomfortable, you don't feel confident in your body, maybe you have some health issues that are starting to arise. That path is harder. So you need to choose the hard that's gonna make you into a better version of you. Hard truth number 7, your dream body is earned through seasons and it's going to take time. Let me say this clearly. Your dream body is not going to happen in one season. Your first calorie deficit, your first reverse diet, the first 6 months of being in that program program. That is just your very first phase. This is not a 12-week fix or a challenge. This is years and years of intentional eating and fueling your body and building muscle and creating new habits and a new mindset and a new lifestyle over and over and over and over again, which is how each year over the last 8 years, my physique has gotten a little bit better each time. I've gotten more confident, I've endured more things, I've learned more things, I've gotten more educated with nutrition and fitness because I just kept going and also invested in myself. You're not failing because you didn't get shredded in 3 months. You're failing if you quit every time you don't see instant results. Fitness is seasonal. It's about embracing each season that you need to go through in order to reach your end goal. And my biggest piece of advice that I always tell my clients is just to let go of the timeline. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. What really matters is that you fully commit to yourself. You go all in and you make this a complete lifestyle change, because even after you reach your end goal, you are not done. You don't just stop the habits that got you to the goal. You got to keep up this lifestyle and make this a whole new part of you, a whole new identity change. Hard truth number 8, the leanest version of you is not always going to be the happiest version of you. And here's a vulnerable truth. After my show, yes, I was shredded. I had a 6-pack. I was extremely lean. And yes, I was very proud of myself. I loved how my body looked for my show, but I also kind of felt like crap. I had no energy. I was super dizzy. I was very hungry all the time, especially the last few weeks of that push towards my show. Yes, I was proud, but I was not thriving. I felt extremely weak in the gym. I was not lifting heavy. I was not really pushing myself because I didn't have that much energy to give. And my mental health started to take a little bit of a toll near the last few weeks of my prep too. Now, after reversing for a couple of months, yes, I have gained weight. Yes, I have gained some body fat, but I feel so much better. I have more energy. I have more mental clarity. I feel stronger in the gym. I'm actually progressing and building muscle again. I'm genuinely happier, and I can still have some fun and flexibility and go out to eat with my husband here and there too. So yes, fat loss can change your life, but obsessing over being extremely lean, like stage lean year round, is going to end it. Your healthiest body isn't always your smallest body. So yes, you should absolutely push yourself and set new goals, but also embrace each season that you are in, and don't strive to be extremely lean year round and get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. I promise you, there is a place where, hey, you can stop here and really just focus on maintaining and being strong and healthy. Hard truth number 9, you think you're doing it right, but you're actually not. The biggest trap is the statement, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. Here's the thing, if that statement were true, you would be at your goal. And listen, knowing of something is different than knowing how to implement it long term and make adjustments to actually see results. Sure, you could know that you need to eat healthy and you need to lift weights, but there's so much more things that go into that. It gets very tactical, and you have to be very intentional if you really want to make progress. I see it all the time. Women are eating way too little. They're doing way too many workouts, way too much cardio, skipping meals, overtraining, underfueling, thinking they're in a deficit, and that is the answer, when the reality is they're in burnout. That is why coaching matters. That's why systems matter, and that's why having accountability matters. Trying to do the journey on your own is just a very flawed strategy. Not only will it take you twice or 3 times as long, that's even if you ever reach your goal, but you also never learn and grow. Investing in yourself and getting help is how you actually reach the next level, which is why I still have a coach for myself. Even after being on this journey for 8 years, I've written thousands of programs and macro meal plans at this point, but I choose to continue to invest in myself because I put my ego to the side, and I realize that if you want to be successful, it's about always being the student of the game. So getting lean as a woman is hard, but it is not impossible. And I hope this video gave you more clarity and truth, even more than in part 1. And if it did, just do me a favor and hit that subscribe, drop a comment down below of what you learned. And if you're ready to get lean the right way, without extremes, without restrictive diets, and you also want to see, should you do a deficit or a reverse diet first, remember to click the link in the description down below to sign up for my free reverse dieting masterclass so we can talk about this in even more detail. I made that masterclass specifically for you. So I'll see you there, talk to you soon, and have an amazing day.